be successful in this Greek, you have to have study habits or develop study habits. Habits are things that you develop that will help you achieve what you want to achieve. First, develop your own study habits. For example, plan a particular time each day. It can be in the morning, it can be in the evening, it can be between 12 a.m. and 6 a.m., whatever works for you. Plan a time when you will not be distracted and protect that time and make sure that you study at that time each day. It is best if you plan a time 2 to 3 hours and study at the same time every day. So find a time that works for you. If something should come up and you cannot study at the time that you had planned for that day, then choose a different time rather than just giving up and not studying at all. Choose a different time to be sure that you have put in the time you need to put in to study and do your assignments and do your readings. The third study habit is to say the Greek alphabet to yourself or a friend or a neighbor or a family member at least 2 times a day. You can call other students. This could be helpful to call other classmates and then have them listen to you say the alphabet while they are checking you because they will have it in front of them. They are checking you for accuracy in saying the alphabet correctly and also for pronunciation. When you are done, it becomes the other students' part to say the Greek alphabet while you check that student and to see that they're saying it correctly and they are pronouncing words correctly. That way you are helping each other and you are learning together, and that is very helpful. Next goal, I've already discussed it earlier. Hints for memorization. Okay, you have to develop the habit of memorization. Now, there's something called flashcards. You cut out small cards from a harder paper, not an exercise book paper or paper that you print things on, because when water touches those, they are gone. Find a hard paper, and in that paper, as you cut it out, on one side, write the Greek word, the Greek vocabulary word on one side, and then the meaning or definition of that word on the other side. What this will mean is you will take these cards with you everywhere you go. It could be church, it could be walking to a neighbor's or to a friend's house. Any place that you go, take it so that when you have time that you are not doing something, you can just sit down and go through the cards. Take them with you everywhere you go. You can go through them several times a day, and once you have learned a word and you know it very well, remove it from the cart, from the group of cards, put it aside, and continue with the other words that you are having trouble with. So that will be something to keep in mind and to do it right. A big part of your quizzes and your exams will be vocabulary. So take this seriously and employ all your senses. By that, pay attention to anything that helps you to remember a word. If a word reminds you of something that you have touched, link that word to the thing that you touch. If a word reminds you of a smell, link it to that smell. If a word reminds you of another word that you know, link it to that word, so that when you see it, you are immediately reminded of what the word means. Next slide. Treat exercises as a test. Treat exercises as a test. The exercise book should become one of your closest friends. Okay? I'm joking, but I'm serious. Because if you succeed in the exercise book assignments, you are guaranteed to succeed in this class. Take time to complete them using a pencil and without looking at your textbook. If I receive perfect answers, I will be suspicious. Also, if you look at the textbook to answer questions, I will know, and you will lose points. I have a way of knowing whether students have used the textbook for their answers or not. Then the next study habit is discipline. Discipline. Consistent time. To be disciplined means you you are using consistent time. You cannot cram, because if you cram for an exam and you take it, even if you pass, you forget what you crammed. So you cannot cram. There are things that I will tell you to memorize, and you can memorize those. For example, you're going to memorize vocabulary, you're going to memorize syllabification rules, you're going to memorize case endings for nouns, but you cannot memorize the paradigm for nouns. You will learn how to form the nouns in each case, but you're going to memorize the case endings and be able to write them out in the masculine, feminine, and gender. I mean, feminine and neuter. Once we get there, I will talk more about that. Take time to sink in. This is an American way of saying take time to dig yourself into the study of Greek, bury yourself in it. It should be the thing that covers your mind as you're thinking about school these days, and do what it takes for you. The title for this slide should have been Dealing with the Difficulty of Greek, but it's okay. So you will often hear people say it's Greek to me, or some people will say it's still Greek to me after they have finished the Greek class. That is because Greek is complicated. But come to think of it, as you think about it, Greek is hard, but not very hard, not as hard as other languages. German or Spanish is very difficult. I studied German, it is difficult. Greek was easier for me than German. Hebrew is even harder. So when you come to study Hebrew, you find that it's harder than Greek. But if you do well in Greek, you would have developed the ability to deal with languages and to understand them easier. In any case, that was chapter 2. May God bless and keep you. And please, as you do this, do it in worship, do it as serving God, be faithful in with this opportunity that God has given you. The next narration I will do will be on chapter 3. That will be forthcoming. Take care. Bye bye.